Can you buy a home while selling your home? I'm going to save you the mystery. The answer is yes. It's a very complicated process, but I'm going to try to explain it to you in this video. Hey guys, back down to XP Realty, part of the daunting group here in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. And today we're going to be talking about how to buy a home while you're selling your home, giving you some tips and tricks, help you understand the process so you can be informed when you're trying to do this. But first, what we're going to be doing is going over the stats for the three hottest markets in our area, Savannah, Pooler, and Richmond Hill. And we get all our stats from InfoSparks, a service provided to us by the Savannah Area Board of Realtors. And if you get any value from this video, if you can do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Send this video to your friends and family who are looking to potentially buy their next home while selling their home so they can get some good advice on how to do it. So now we're going to talk about the median home sales prices, new listings, homes on the market, price per square foot, days on the market in our area. So let's just get right into the stats. Okay, first we're going to talk about the median home sales price in Savannah, Pooler, and Richmond Hill. And we're going to be comparing them to last year's number of January 2023 versus January 2024. So in Savannah, the median home sales price for January last year was $294,000. This year it is $352,250. We're up by 20%. Last year in Pooler, it was $339,990. This year, $374,990, up by 10%. And last year in Richmond Hill, it was $374,680. This year, $420,000. We're up by 12%. So prices keep rising regardless of the interest rates. And as you can see, last year in January 2023, the interest rates were 6.48%. This year in January, it was 6.75%. But the current right now, as of February 9th, when I'm recording this, the current interest rates on Mortgage News Daily is 6.97. And Mortgage News Daily pretty much takes an average of people that put 20% down, have pretty good credit. That's the average credit score right now across the nation. Now we're talking about new listings. So in Savannah, last year, there's 311 new listings in January. This year, 354 new homes on the market in January, up by 14%. Last year in Pooler is 72 new homes on the market. This year, 108, up by 50%. And last year, there's 78 new homes on the market. This year, 120 in Richmond Hill, up by 54%. So new listings are on the rise. Now we're going to talk about all the homes on the market. So last year in Savannah, January, it was 694 homes on the market. This year, 845. We're up by 22% from last year. Now, homes for sale in Pooler, there was 174 homes on the market last year. There's 179 homes on the market this year, up by 3%. And in Richmond Hill, there's 243 homes on the market last year. This year, 225. We're down by 8%. So Richmond Hill's coming down a little bit. Now we're talking about closed homes on the market. So in Savannah, last year is 257 homes that closed. This year, 248 closed, down by 4%. Last year in Pooler, there's 49 homes on the market that sold in January. This year, 51, up by 4%. And last year in Richmond Hill, there's 55 homes that closed in January. This year, 60, we're up by 9%. Now we're talking about days on the market. Now, days on the market is going to be the time that you put your home on the MLS to when it's sold. So last year in Savannah, in January, is 39 days on the market. This year, 39 days on the market. So no change there. In Pooler, last year was 50 days on the market. This year, 33. We are down by 34%. So that's great. So you can sell your home faster in Pooler as opposed to last year. And last year in Richmond Hill was 50 days on the market. This year, 37 days on the market, down by 26%. So homes are going a little bit faster than they were last year. Now we're going to talk about price per square foot. This is your estimate number. So you take this number, multiply it by your square footage if you're in these areas, and it can give you a ballpark of what your home could be valued at. So last year in January, in Savannah, it was $186 per square foot. This year, $209 per square foot. We're up by 12%. Last year in Pooler, it was $187 per square foot. This year, $181 per square foot. We are down by 3%. And in Richmond Hill, last year, it was $175 per square foot. This year, $196 per square foot, up by 12%. So prices, like I said, are still going up regardless of interest rates. The Pooler had a little dip, but I think it's just going to keep rising. Now we're going to talk about how to buy a home while you're selling your home. And I'm just going to give you some quick tips. I can't go into in depth because it's a very complicated process, but I can give you enough tips so you know what to ask your real estate agent when you hire them. So the first tip I would give you, and this is crucial, is you got to get an experienced real estate agent to do this. You have to have somebody that's done this before. This is not like my cousin just became a real estate agent, so I'm going to give him a shot. This ain't that transaction. I have nothing against brand new agents. I was a brand new agent at one time, okay? But there is so many things that are going on at the same time when you're trying to buy and sell a home at the same time. You're talking about amendments, you're talking about appraisals, you're talking about home inspections, amendments to address concerns, you're talking about all these different things going on all at the same time, and you don't want to be lost with an agent that's brand new because they need to know how to buy and sell cold. So this is not for your rookies, okay? You need to get experienced real estate agent. If you're in another state, give me a call. I can help you find one. If you're in the Savannah area, obviously I can help you. But you gotta have an agent that's done this before because you don't want this thing to get messed up because it's like a domino effect. Once one thing fails, it can all crumble. So get an experienced real estate agent if you're going to go buy a home while you're selling your home. That's step number one. Step number two, and this is crucial, and I'll explain this a little bit later why it's so crucial. It'll all make sense, but you have to get approved for a loan. And I'm not talking about I called a lender and I gave them how much I make a year and they just sent me a pre-approval letter. No, when you are going to buy a house while you're selling your home, you need to be fully approved. And what does that mean? To get fully approved, you're going to have to give your bank statements, W-2s, you're going to do your pay stubs, all the paperwork they need to approve you for a loan needs to go to the lender up front. Then you tell the lender, I need this to go all the way through underwriting, okay? So, because underwriters are the ones that actually approve the loan, okay? So they can do that for you. They can run all the way through the underwriting process. They're going to ask you for more documents. You can get them all the stuff. And then once they say, okay, you are approved, okay? What they mean is all we have to do is find that house that you're approved for. So they say you are pre-approved for $500,000 or you are approved for $500,000. Then all you got to do is find that house that's under $500,000. You put it under contract and it goes right to titling and appraisal and all the other paperwork is done. So it is crucial to get yourself approved before you go. And I'm going to tell you why a little bit later. Okay. So step number two, definitely get approved for a loan. Step number three, you got to understand what a sales contingency is. Now, what is a sales contingency? Essentially, it means that you have to sell your home or lease your home before you buy your next home. Maybe that could be for several reasons. Maybe you need it for the down payment for your next home. Maybe you need it because your debt to income ratio can't handle two mortgages at the same time. So whatever the reason, you have to sell your home before you buy your next home. That is what a sales contingency is. Now let's go to the sale or lease of a buyer's property contingency exhibit so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about on how this sales contingency works. All right, and in order to explain the exhibit, I have to kind of paint the picture here so you can understand it. So in this scenario, you are a seller with your home on the market. You already talked to the real estate agent. He's already got you approved for a loan already. So you're all the way through that process. Now you put your home on the market and another buyer has put an offer on your home and you've accepted it. Now you decide to go find another home. Okay, while your home is under contract and you found the perfect one and you want to put a contract on it. So that's where we're starting from so I can explain this exhibit. All right, so here's the exhibit, the sale or lease of buyer's property contingency exhibit. Okay, now you're trying to put an offer on another home, and this needs to be included because you have a home to sell. All right, so you're basically saying, hey, on this date, I want to buy your home at 123 Savannah Street, okay? And I'm warranting to you here in one that I have a property for sale at 123 Richmond Hill Street, okay? And at this next part right here saying, I am currently under contract with buyer represented by, we'll say Sam Perpetin from eXp Realty or, any Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, okay? You have to put this information right here. Now, if you didn't have a contract on your property, you would list that right here. But we're going to go with the scenario that you have it, okay? You have the contract. So in this moment, you probably want to include the contract that you have on your home with all your paperwork to the seller so they can be totally transparent and understand what's going on with the process of your home so they can feel better, okay? The next part is talking about basically the contingency. So number 3, the agreement is contingent upon the occurrence of the following on or before either the closing date, which was arranged in the purchase sale agreement that you're turning in with this document, or maybe you say they only need 15 days to get through their finance contingency and then everything is good to go. Maybe you pick that, but you also have to pick either A or B during this time. Essentially, what it's saying, you're going to keep it on the market regardless, and you're not going to go over this certain price. Okay, and you're letting the seller know, hey, look, regardless of what happens, we're going to keep the home on the market till it sells. Okay, so that's what this. You're picking either one A or B, or you're going to put it on the market for lease. Okay. This next part is just basically just explaining what happens if your home doesn't sell. So, in the event that your home doesn't sell, for instance, the buyers decide to terminate on your home, then automatically you can terminate the contract with the seller over here and get your earnest money back. That's what these next 2 or 4 paragraphs basically say. Now, let's get to the kickout clause part because this is very interesting and is very complicated, so you need to understand what's going on. Oh, the kickout clause. You have a choice. You either have a kickout clause or don't have a kickout clause. Okay. Now, if you're putting a contract on a seller's home, you don't want a kickout clause because what a kickout clause is basically saying that if they get they can keep their home on the market. Okay. And they can market the home. And if they get another offer in while you're under contract with them, then they can tell you, hey, it's going to trigger one of the 2 options here. Okay. Option 1, okay? Option 1 is that it's subject to a kickout clause, okay? And if in the event that the seller gets a bona fide offer, you will have, whatever your real estate agent puts here, where you guys decide 24, 40, 72 hours to give an additional however much money you want to put, $10,000, $20,000 is earnest money to give the seller satisfaction that they don't take the other offer, okay? And then you could either have all the contingencies removed to include due diligence, finance contingency, everything, right? It'll be no longer a part of the agreement, or you can pick which contingencies you want to have relinquished, right? Okay. Or you could say, hey, this agreement is not subject to a kickout clause, so they can't kick you out and they can't market the property anymore. Okay. So now that you know what that is, let me kind of explain to you what the ramifications of this sales contingency is. Okay. All right, so let me put this all together in a neat little bow. So at first, you got the right real estate agency experience. Secondly, you got fully approved for a loan. Third, you put the home on the market. You accepted an offer from a buyer over here. Okay, now you want to go buy this home over here. You're putting the contract together. You got your sales contingency in there, and it's contingent. You can't buy this home until they buy your home. Okay. That's the scenario where we're at. So I want you to kind of think about it from this salesperson or this person selling their home's perspective. Okay. They're receiving this offer. They are dependent upon this guy over here buying your home so that you can buy their home. Now think about that for a second. Very risky proposition for this seller. This actually puts your offer at a disadvantage from the beginning. But because you got fully approved and all I have to do is get the appraisal and the title work done, that moves your offer up here. Now, everybody else is already here. Okay, your offer started here. You got your approval. Now you're up here. Okay, but you're still below everybody else. So you and the realtor at that moment got to figure out, okay, what would entice this seller to take a chance on this guy buying my house so I can buy his house? It's very tricky. It depends on the market. And once again, this is where a experienced real estate agent will definitely help you. You could either say, hey, look, maybe we just put $10,000 on top of the sales price, and if the appraisal doesn't cover it, we'll cover it with the proceeds from selling our home. $10,000 more could go a long way. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's not. Okay. Maybe you put an extra earnest money up and a shorter due diligence period to make the seller feel more secure. But you already started here. You moved up with the pre-approval. Now you're trying to get to here. So remember, when you are buying a home while you're selling a home, you may have to concede more than the regular buyer that doesn't have that sales contingency. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind when you're putting together your offer, when you're trying to buy or sell a home. If you're buying the home that you're going to live in for the rest of your life, what's another $10,000 on top of that to sweeten the pot for the seller? ultimately the seller's going to make their decision. You want to make sure that you can put your offer up with everybody else. You need to make it strong. If you find the right real estate agent, they're going to take care of you, okay? If you guys have any questions on this, obviously give me a call at 912-657-3544. I know it's complicated. I know that it seems like it's hard, but if you get the right real estate agent, all this stuff will be happening in the background. You won't even notice it, okay? But get with that right real estate agent, get your approval letter, and get out there and shop. You can do this. Trust me, it is possible. I've done it many times, okay? We get where the same attorney closes the same, or both houses, and then one closes as the other one closes. So you can move right into your new home. So it's definitely possible. Don't be like, oh, it's way too complicated. Trust me, it can be done. And once again, if you got any value from this video, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe with your family and friends so they know what's going on. And if you're watching to this point, God, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys viewing. It means the world to me, and thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.